Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Interview a Crafter. This one's going to be done with Miss Jennifer Welch Greene. For those of you who are interested in getting to know a little bit more about her, this is all the information about her here. She has her own Facebook group, which is V as in Victor, V as in Victor Crafts. She also has her own website as well, which is thirstyturtletumblers.com /shop. And this is her. So if this is your first time watching, we try to host Interview a Crafter segments. This is the episode 6. So if you want to see more content like this, we have it up on our YouTube, which is All Things Custom Creations. I think it's just Custom Creations Rinkin on YouTube. We also have our Facebook group, which is All Things Custom Creations Tumblers and More 101. And we'd love to have you over there. So enjoy. Well, welcome.
Thanks.
I'm glad we could finally sync
glad
up.
to be here. We're going to be working on some cool stuff.
I'm very excited too. So, for those of you that don't know me, my name's Cameron. I am the fiance to a glitter addict. That's probably the best way to put it. Outside of that, I'm literally next to nobody. Outside of being a used car salesman by day, and like I said, fiance to a glitter addict by night. So, the reason we kind of collaborated on this, and Miss Jennifer, I'm sure, can explain her side too, is I do what's called Interview a Crafter, which just means that I'm going to get a chance to kind of get to know a little bit more about the person that you guys see on a regular basis, but a little bit more from behind the scenes perspective, to get to know kind of how they got into it and things like that. It's super cool for me, fun for me, because not only have I learned a ton from these, because I'm seeing like so many different methods and ways that people do things, but I'm learning a lot about the person and networking and showing like it's not just,
Right.
a face that's,
Right.
showing how to do all this stuff. There's actually a reason why you got into it, and it matters.
It's an interesting market, that's for sure.
And it's so funny to me too, because it seems like, and I'm sure you can probably relate to this too, is there's a lot of cutthroat nature behind some of the stuff I've seen. Some of it, and the other side of it is there's a lot of really good community from it too. So you get both sides that are like seem to be very harshly on the opposite ends. So, but anyway.
Yeah, I avoid the one side like the plague. I just try to stay away from the people that are just not nice, because every business, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, every business has those people.
Sure.
And I've always stood by my own integrity and just kind of said, you know what? Those people the karma will come around. Mm-hmm. Those people will show their true colors in a matter of time.
Yeah.
If I'm just who I am and I be who I am, then I only have to worry about me and not everybody else. So
it's funny that you say that, because there was a friend of mine that had a phrase once, and people used to always make fun of her and talk about like, oh, you're really weird. Like, we used to make comments and stuff, right? Which I feel like
me weird. Are you like relating?
Yeah, we all are. But what I thought was interesting was she made a point to be like, I'm on this earth for me. If you get entertainment out of it, it's a bonus. And I was like, okay, you do you. That's awesome. And it was kind of eye opening because of that. We live so much, I think, for every other people, that we forget to kind of try to be ourselves sometimes. So, but I love that you said that you kind of stick to your own integrity too, because that's kind of how Heather and I are.
Right.
And for those of you that don't know, we have our own group too, which is we're going live as on Custom Creations 101 right now. We have our own group, All Things Custom Creations Tumblers and More 101, which is super long, but yeah, we're growing, and we're super excited to be able to get to do something like this with Miss Jennifer. So thank you for doing it. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for asking me to do this. This is really cool.
I'm excited. Well,
I'm a boring kind of person, so I don't know how entertaining this will be, but I do make some really kick-ass tumblers.
Well, so far so good from my side.
At least that's accomplished.
Yeah, so far so good from my side. I'm happy with things so far. So, what I usually do, if you haven't watched any of the other ones, I pretty much just go, hey, the floor is yours. I'll interject a couple of times with some questions and stuff, and I'm sure if anybody, the ones you're helping respond to comments and stuff, if there's like specific things that they want to see or ask questions about, I never tell anybody to hesitate to ask, because I'm sure it's fascinating for you to be able to see what your fans want to know about you too. So
Yeah, I've asked Mr. Turtle Tom to be out here just so he can kind of read the chats in our thing, because they can kind of go kind of quick, and he's able to respond to them, either just typing to them, or you may hear him shout out every once in a while.
That's cool. Tom, hi.
Because I do.
Hi, Tom.
I'm sorry.
Hey, Cameron, how are you, bud?
I'm good. I hope you're doing well.
We're doing good. So tonight I'm just going to be working on a lightsaber tumbler.
Ooh.
It's one of those 8-ounce skinny flasks. Comes in a container. It's kind of cool how it comes, but it'll never fit back in there.
What a transition.
Right? What? I didn't hear you.
I said, what a transition from like the all black to it looking straight up like a lightsaber.
This, but it'll never go back in there again as soon as you put epoxy on it.
No, of course not. Of course not.
That kind of sucks. But they're just stainless steel. Little lid, 8 ounces, little flask. And I cut out a shit ton of foam. I use sticky back foam, and I cut them out in different lengths and sizes, and that's how we kind of create these designs in different levels.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm going to be doing.
Can I just say that I thought it was
all that interesting, does it?
No, it's fine. I thought it was really funny that you hesitated for a minute to be like, I cut out a shit ton of foam. You're like, am I okay to cuss here, or like?
Well, the reason why I hesitated is because I know you have a little one, and I wasn't sure if the little one was in earshot or sleeping.
Yeah, he's knocked out, so we're good.
Gotcha. Good. We usually aim our TikToks to be like around PG-13, except for on Saturdays.
Gotcha.
Saturdays is adult night. We make an adult beverage. I mean, they don't have to make it with us, but we make a cocktail, and then I usually make a tumbler that matches the cocktail, and then we do that as a giveaway.
That's pretty cool.
So we have a lot of fun on Saturdays, and it gets a little bit more adult, not too crazy, but, swearing happens.
Well, if you've watched any of our lives, you know that almost all of them in some way, shape, or form go to the dark side. Not because we intend for them to, but strictly because of the naughty people we have that are part of our group.
And it's all the followers. It's all there. It's them.
It's their fault.
They just bring all that naughtiness, right?
It's never me.
I know my turtle family does.
Yeah. It's never me. It's never me. It's never Heather. Never ever. So, but yeah. So first question, kind of off the rip, just so we can kind of get the ball rolling here. How did you get started? How'd you get started doing all of it, as far as the cups and everything?
Yeah, I've been a crafter like most of us my whole life. I started actually. I'm gonna tip you guys down just a tiny bit so they can actually see what I'm doing too. I started on Tumblers a couple years ago. Matter of fact, I saw somebody doing one on a Facebook Live, and I was like, that's really cool. I like that. But I had been in the vinyl business. I got frustrated because I started to get into the crafting business. Like most people, I got a cutting machine. I got a Solo Cameo. And I got frustrated because at the time, this was several years ago, you couldn't go to one place and get everything you needed to do a project.
Right.
Vinyl, blanks, that kind of stuff. So I tried to make stuff and sell it. And I have a super, super high level of perfectionism. And I just couldn't get myself to the point where I could sell something. I saw every flaw. So I made a lot of gifts, presents for everybody. So I decided to solve the problem I was having, and that was finding everything. So I created a vinyl business and carried a bunch of blanks. And from that, you start using your materials and showing people what they can do with them. And I saw somebody making a tumbler on Facebook, and I'm like, I want to do that. And I made one, and I hated it because it was fabric. And I swore I would never do it again because I'm sure I made the same mistake everybody else does. I didn't wait and be patient, which I have a problem with. And my Mod Podge wasn't dry, and I had wet spots under my epoxy, and I ruined the whole thing, and it was whatever. So I was like, I'm not doing that. Then I saw somebody do a Galaxy, and I was like, I can do that. And so the very first cup I made was a Galaxy, and I actually still have it. And it is
kind of atrocious.
It's bad.
Go get
I've
it.
come a long way.
Go get it. Go get it. When you have a second. You have it ready.
Mr. Turtle went and got it.
Oh, I
He
love
knew you were gonna
it.
make me show you.
Why didn't you like it?
It's terrible. Isn't that terrible?
No,
blending. Just
it's not
slap
terrible.
the color on there.
Why don't you like it?
It's not that I don't like it. It was my first tumbler. But I didn't know how to work with ink, so I didn't mess around enough to blend it. I was so focused. I was so worried about screwing up that I forgot to kind of have fun, and then I messed it up. I rocked that tumbler for about 6 months before I made another one for myself. So
that's so funny.
But yeah, I kept it for just so I could look back at that and think, yeah. And then I went from that to probably one of the hardest tumblers I've ever made in my entire life, and that was a 5-panel curved tumbler. And I stopped making those because they're the hardest tumbler to this date to make that I've ever made. I made it for me. You'll probably guess the theme.
Oh yeah, Wizard of Oz. I caught it. Yep. I caught it at the Yellow Brick Road, but the green with the witch definitely caught me.
And hardest cup I've ever made.
It looks good though.
Up close, it's not. There's glitter all over the yellow brick. Red glitter is all over the Yellow Brick Road.
Who cares? Who cares?
That damn red glitter.
Hey, if I don't know how much glitter you have, I would assume a lot. But if so
those are about 5 to 10 rows deep. Yeah, you got it, girl. Yep. Insane.
So
too many. I won't say too many. There's no such thing as too much glitter. I don't have the proper display for them because I like to see the color. That's what inspires me. So I'm working, when we relocate, my whole wall is changing to a different style of display.
Nice.
So I can see all that.
Very, very nice.
Are they talking shit in here? Hold on a second, camera. Are y'all talking shit like I'm not reading any comments? Rude.
No. I know what's being said. I already know what's being said. You know how I know what's being said? Because I get it every day. People are probably asking, who's this Seth Green guy interviewing you?
We talked a little bit about you yesterday on my live.
Oh, really?
When we had over 400 people in it last night. It was insane. But it was awesome. We talked a little bit and told them that I was going to be doing an interview with you guys. So check you guys out. Threw out your TikTok users so that they could check you out. So I'm hoping they're in here and behaving. It's a lot of our regulars, and they like to stir up some shit in there. So,
man,
they're the best.
Well, you know what I think is interesting? You mentioned one thing, and I think it seems to be a theme across all the ladies and guys. I haven't interviewed a guy yet besides Victor, and Victor's obviously more of the tech side. He doesn't make tumblers, and he's on the opposite side of what I'm about to bring up, which is you're all impatient. Like, all of you are impatient. Like, Heather, anytime she's made a cup, she's like, I don't want to wait on this. Like, this is dumb. And you literally took the words out whenever you were like, I screwed up the fabric cup because I didn't want to wait for the Mod Podge to dry. I just think that's so funny.
There are specific techniques that I absolutely refuse to do, and I have referred my customers to other tumbler makers because I am not doing a tanagram for nothing. I don't have the patience for it. I might do one of those sublimated ones that are already, when I figure out sublimation, because I screwed that up royally my first time and haven't tried it since. But yeah, I'm not about patience when it comes to stuff. I have a perfectionism. I will peel it off and restart it 100 times, but I don't want to wait.
I think Heather just said full rhinestone tumbler, question mark.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope, no rhinestone.
That's exactly what I was about to bring up.
I will bedazzle little bits and pieces, but I'm not rhinestone in your tumbler.
That's exactly what I was about to bring up. She has a friend who's really good at it. If you haven't seen her stuff, Fawn Hobby, She does.
Yes.
Oh my God, she does a ton of them, and she's the type that's. And that's actually her on the live right now. It's Weasel 2000. She's on there. But yeah, Heather's like, if you want one, I'll definitely make one for you. And then she'll go, Fawn, real quick. I need you to make this for me because I'm not doing it.
I've ordered now, I think 4 or 5 tumblers from different tumbler makers of designs that I'm not as interested in making.
Right.
This is one of them. I love the tie dyes. And I may do one at some point. I'm liking discovering other ways to make them
Right.
that aren't as time consuming. I just don't have the time to spend 8 hours hand painting one tumbler. I don't have that kind of time. So yeah, I've bought them and I've got, some really cool ones. The first one I bought was a tanagram. I'm like, I'm making it, so I'm buying it.
You do you.
I actually have a second, a Pendleton or whatever they're called. I have one of those being made right now.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is.
It's like the triangular kind of shape. Here's my tanagram. Isn't that amazing?
Nope.
Yeah, me neither. All hand glittered. I saw her make it on the video, and I was like,
shout out to whoever did that because I'm not doing it either.
It's another one I bought. This is
that's
beautiful.
Cool. Yeah, that's really cool.
These guys are crazy. And so when I see a tumbler that I like, I'm like, I want that design. Yeah, I buy it.
Man,
I definitely support other tumbler makers.
Jeez. Well, I'm going to get down to the next question then, which is, I know your followers probably know this, but I think it would be fascinating for the sake of putting everything up on YouTube and getting it all so people get to know you a little better. How did you come up with the name of Thirsty Turtle Tumblers?
It was actually really weird. When I created my vinyl business, I struggled with a business name for a long time. And I still, after I chose it, I wasn't comfortable with it. Thirsty Turtles came to me. I'm super passionate about endangered species and animals in general, adoption of animals. I'm just tender, kind of hearted for those. And I was doing I don't know what I was doing, some reading the one day, and I saw that all of the species of sea turtles are on the endangered species list. One got knocked down to the watch list below, but they're all on the endangered species. The hawksbill is probably one of the most endangered, and the leatherback. And so when I realized that, could you imagine our ocean life if amazing creatures like that started to disappear?
Yeah.
What would our future generations would look at them like we look at dinosaurs, right? Like they never existed in our world.
Yeah.
And so they wouldn't be real, and they're magnificent. And so the beach is my place. It's my soul's happy place. It's where I go to rejuvenate and replenish and feel whole. And so sea turtles just kind of came in, and we were eating at a restaurant called The Hungry Turtle, and we were going to the Toasted Turtle later for bar drinks. And I said, Thirsty Turtle. I said, Thirsty Turtle Tumblers. And then I couldn't get it out of my head since then. And it's meant more to me every day than the day that it came together. So, yeah.
That's so cool, though. It's weird how that happens. I don't know if my
followers have ever actually heard that story before.
Well, you're welcome.
Thank you. That was way cool.
I'm very glad to hear that. And I think that's a beautiful cause, 100%, because our kids, we try so much to instill in them, obviously to be good people, but to be good to animals, very specifically. We have 2 bunnies. We've had up to, I don't even know how many, probably 12 cats. Only because we have saved, Heather used to work at a car lot, like I work at a car lot now, and we had what we called lot kittens. And long story short, the owner of the car lot that Heather worked at was like a huge cat enthusiast. Loves cats. Will do anything to save them. Like, we'll fix them. We'll do all of it. Has spent like $2,000 on surgery for a cat. Like, does not care. Has like a big heart for animals and cats specifically. So
Right.
he came to Heather and said, "Hey, I have these cats that I don't know what to do with. Can you help me?" So we took them home. We bottle fed them, which, by the way, if you've never bottle fed a cat, it's absolutely a horrendous job because they are literally doing this number as they're trying to
I'm not
snuggle.
a cat person except for the cat that adopted us. So
Yeah, and that's usually how it works.
we've tried, but I like to roll when I sleep, and they like to pounce on my feet. So it's never worked out.
Yeah,
Really.
I get it.
So
They are little ninjas. So, but yeah, so that's really, I love that. I really do. I love the fact that that's the name of the company, and I love that you have a heart for it because of how much we can relate to it as far as, the rescue of animals, the rehoming of animals,
Preservation.
and oh, absolutely, the preservation side is huge. I mean, it definitely needs to be done, and I love that. I think you've said before. I've been watching you for a while, but I think
stalker.
um, but what
He doesn't know
I
what to
think
say now.
one of the posts I think I saw you make, or maybe you do this with everything, but like you were, or a lot of the cups that you were selling, you were giving some of the money to wildlife preservation, right?
Yep. Yeah, we do actually a lot with charities. That was one of the things. That was one of the first companies that we kind of joined up with, because I said, if we're going to be Thirsty Turtle Tumblers, and this is passionate, something we're passionate about, tumblers and the ocean life, and the beach itself, we need to kind of put our money where our mouth is. And at the time we were both unexpectedly unemployed, and that there wasn't a lot of those funds. So we thought, what are other ways? And that was through research, understanding, start to share it, make people aware of it, be conscious ourselves of our plastic usage. I don't know if you know this, but when I send out my tumblers, I don't send the straws out with them. They all get recycled and gone. I prefer people to use the metal straws because, if you're going to use this plastic straw, at least use a reusable one, right? But it's just kind of what we kind of stand for and kind of believe in. But we've supported a lot of different charities, not just animal, wildlife and stuff like that. I participated in an auction just like last week, I think it was, for a little girl who has hydrocephalus. She's 2 years old. She's had 4 brain surgeries, and she's got a more difficult path ahead of her than a lot of people, would normally have. And our 25-year-old daughter has hydrocephalus. She had brain surgery when she was 8 months old. And so it was something that we knew we needed to be a part of. We needed to help in any way that we could. Our followers on TikTok have been amazing because, like I said, we don't have the financial means to just give everything. I mean, I wish I could, but
don't we all?
We have to eat, but our followers on TikTok here have been incredible. When they can't participate financially, they share. They encourage others to participate. They do everything they can. And a lot of them have financially participated. And it's incredible to see. To surround yourself with those types of people makes you every day want to do more and do better. So,
I could not have said it better.
Yeah.
I love charity. I grew up in a household where my grandpa owned I come from the pharmacy background. My family owns a pharmacy. So my grandpa was the type that a lady came into the store one time and said that she could not afford to pay her electric bill because she was behind on it, and she knew that he had helped people out and stuff before. But this is the type of person he was. He would go and tell her, listen, I don't know that I can help you, but if you'll contact this church, they can help you. And he would give her the phone number, and she would call up, and he would call the church before she called him and said, look, I want to pay her electric bill. I want you to take the credit for having paid the electric bill. I don't want her to know that I did it.
Right.
And so, me coming from a background like that, I'm the type of person where I was standing in Publix just, what was it? I think last week. And there was a guy standing in front of me who was struggling to get his change together to be able to pay for his groceries. And I was like, I'm thankful that we have been okay financially enough that I can do things like this. But I gave the lady
Right.
$20 after he walked off to try to get his card to go through. And I was like, just take care of his stuff. You keep the rest. Don't worry about it. And those random acts of kindness. And I told her, I was like, I don't want him to know that I did it. So don't say a word. I don't want him to know. I don't need him to know. I don't want the glory. I just want him to know that it's done. And there's people out there that humanity's not as bad as people like to think that it is.
That's really cool that you did that. I had a really hard time turning 40, and I'm a little bit older than that
Why?
now. But I don't know. 36 was hard because I realized I was closer to 40 than I was 30, and I was like, God, that kind of sucks, right? But 40 came, and I was in a position at a job that I was not happy in. I was good at it, but I wasn't happy doing it. And I knew 40 was coming, and it was like, what have I done to make this world a better place? I've existed for 40 years. What have I done? So I decided that 40 days before my 40th birthday, I would do 40 random acts of kindness and try to do one every day. The task became much bigger than I expected because Facebook kind of jumped in, and I had family and friends all over the United States helping. So we accomplished things like somebody went to the cemetery and decorated 40 veteran memorial graves with flags. We had
40 meals delivered.
40 meals delivered to Meals on Wheels. I bought 40 instant lottery tickets and handed them out to complete strangers. I bought a bunch of people a bunch of free gas at the gas station without them knowing who it was. So every day I focused on doing something for somebody else. And some days it was just saying thank you, looking somebody in the eye and thanking them and being genuine. And so that's what I did. And so when I turned 40 and I looked back on my birthday, and I looked back, I didn't do it all myself. I couldn't have done 90% of it without people that participated on Facebook. But when I looked back and thought all of that ripple of good effect that we put out there hopefully reached far and wide. So turning 40 is not so bad if I can affect people.
Yeah. Well, you gotta realize too.
That's what we try to do on a constant basis. We've got a lot of followers and an amazing family on TikTok, and we don't always have the financial means to make change, but we have the influence because of our followers and the great hearts that they have. And it becomes a balance. We don't want to hit them up every week for a new new thing that that pulled on our heartstrings. Yeah. But it's a balance. I mean, we've done the American Heart Association. We've done Children of the Fallen Soldier. We've done St. Jude.
I saw those.
We've done
Children
things for the World Wildlife Federation. I mean, but it's
some veterans.
When you have this much influence, you should be using the influence as often as you can for the good of the people and the planet that you interact with.
And know that just sharing information is just as important. So
yeah, it doesn't have to be monetary. It's just spreading information. Like our neighbor, we live in a upper class, middle class development. And that was because we both had executive jobs before COVID. Well, we no longer have those executive jobs. We've sold the house. We're going to be moving shortly. But our next door neighbor...
To the beach!
Yeah. Our next door neighbor has one of those immaculate lawns. And every time he would get his grass cut, we'd walk over there and go, "Be hater."
Be hater.
Just to mess with him. Because he's amazing. He is a very, very good person. But those are the types of things, just that little ribbing... He's become more aware of the issue with the bee population of the world, even though we were just doing it from a joking standpoint, and he knew that.
That's funny.
And those are the things we like to do.
Man, Well,
Thanks, Mr. T.
I just want to say, if nothing else, if this is the last time we talk, which I'm sure it won't be, that it's so cool to get to see and to get to know people that want nothing more than what we try to do, which is restore that faith in humanity and to be that face that people can look at and go, okay, they're actually good people. You know, instead of
Yeah.
having to like question if we're like really out to get somebody or if we're really like we want your money, whatever. Like our goal in having the group that we have and doing the things that we do is just like you guys, it couples entertainment and helpfulness. Like we want those two things, you know, to be able to like shed that light to be like we're here if you need us, but at the same time be able to do things like raise money for the you know, the children of the fallen soldiers and all these different charities and stuff that you get to donate to. I think that's awesome.
Yeah. It's you know, I think it's just you make it sound more like it's humbling the way you've said it. It's kind of in a more selfish way because I know that we've got the reach and the impact by just sharing the information. But every day I really just try to focus on me and being a better person myself so that I can be a nicer wife to my husband, a nicer mom to my kids, a fun grandma. And that just to me it's the trickling effect. You don't have to have 5,000 followers or I just hit 60,000 followers. You don't have to have that many followers to make an impact. Just be a good person and be genuine every day. Every day, just focus on yourself. Everybody else around you, you'll that positivity and those good vibes will draw others with the same intensity to you.
Sure.
Just like negativity will. So like that's what I said. I try to stay away from that and keep the positive vibes coming towards
Can
us.
I just point out that it's so fascinating to me that they both get almost equal. I wouldn't even say that. They get like unequal popularity. Like it seems like a lot of the negative stuff gets so much more popularity than the positives.
Yeah. You know, and I have a little saying when it comes to that. I graduated high school 30 years ago. I left the drama back there. I'm 48 years old. I don't need that shit in my life. I just don't. I'm too old for it.
You don't look 48, by the way.
I just got to the point where other people's opinions don't affect me anymore. They still can hurt my feelings, but they don't affect me. I don't allow them to ruin my day or make me sad for more than a second. But I just got to that point. I don't have time for all that. I just don't.
Yeah.
And I worked in a place that was kind of like that, and it just draws that more of that negativity towards you, and so I do the opposite.
I got
you know what I mean?
Well, Nick,
draw the positive in.
Right, 100%. Well, that actually segues into
makes me very boring at parties.
What's the old saying though? Misery loves company.
That's true.
It's very easy to get people to fall into the same negative mindset. It's a lot of work to keep people positive.
That's true.
A lynchmob gets started from just one spark, you know.
That's very true. Well, that actually what you said segues into the next question that I was going to ask, which is, you mentioned that you used to work at a place, and that you and Tom both said we used to have executive jobs, and so but now we don't have those. So is this like a full-time thing for y'all now, or do you just do it like as a part-time thing and you do something else as a full-time thing, or this is it, huh?
Yeah, so we did what a lot of people hoped took us a long time to build up the courage to kind of get to a position where I could leave the position and start a new business, which was not tumbler making.
Yeah.
It was something that I had built experience in for 20 years. And COVID hit, and that type of business requires close-knit groups of people in large amounts. And so it just wasn't a feasible thing. And so I didn't have the desire to go backwards. And so I took the opportunity to say, you know what? If you're going to do this, jump in with both feet and do it. And that's what I did. So I went full time with it. And I'm so incredibly grateful that I did that. Mr. Turtle's opportunity kind of changed with COVID and became a not consistent type of thing.
Yeah.
He's able to do some consulting with our previous employer in that regard. So the relationship is still there. I just, like I said, I didn't have the desire to go back to that. I thought this was, to me, I looked at it as a sign to say, you know what, it's now or never. Get over your shit, get it done, do it, and see what happens.
And believe it or not, I saw a TikTok today that said, why build somebody else's dreams when you can build your own? And that's kind of where we're at. I mean, I'm 51, she's 48. Our kids are out of the house. Our youngest is a senior at ECU. And what better time to take this plunge? It's like COVID kind of told us this is what you guys need to do. So we're running with it.
This is the right thing. So we're making it happen.
Man, I don't think you understand how inspiring that is, though. It's funny. The reason I say that, this is just my perspective, right? I always try to think about things about like, okay, I always, whether I'm in a conversation with somebody or something's going on around me, I'm always trying to see things from both sides of the spectrum, right? Anytime something happens. So I think it's fascinating that COVID has done one of two things for most people. It's either done what you guys have done, which has gone, okay, I am a non-essential worker. So my job is no longer a void or no longer a job anymore. I have one of two options. I'm either going to have to dive into this full-fledged, into whatever I've been thinking about doing on the side over here, or I'm going to sit and be upset about it. And I think I've seen both sides, and it's so cool to me and inspiring to hear that you guys went and did exactly what you said. And I love the word is you jumped into it.
Don't think it was easy though. I mean,
no. I wasn't saying it was easy.
When you're used to a certain level of income and COVID happens and jobs change within a very short period of time, those expectations that you have and those responsibilities don't just go away. So there's been really hard times.
You're okay. But look at where you are. You know, and that's my favorite part. That's my favorite part of it.
I would rather portion my food and do what I love every day than be miserable and have, you know, money to blow. And we went from that to, it's very humbling. You prioritize and you have to make a decision. If doing what you love is worth more than the dollar, because there's so much more that's worth $1. My grandkids and time with them and spending time with my kids, making tumblers, making sure that every tumbler I make is something that I love. That's worth a whole lot more than $1. It's
take us to church.
When you need
take
a few
us
extra
to church,
dollars,
Jennifer.
you work a little bit harder for it, you know?
Yeah. Take us to church, though. We're cool with it. I love that. I do. I really, really do. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, too, because we relate to it. Because I've said this to Heather before. Like, we've talked about it.
Because I made a double. It's your fault.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I wanted you to loosen up. That's all it was.
Thank you, Turtle family. I love you guys, too. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. But I love so much that you said all the things that you did. I really do. Because I can relate to it. Because I come from a music background too. I play guitar. My family's always been involved in music. My mom's broken records in Nashville. And the reason I bring that up is my mom, whenever I was little, used to sing a lot and used to sing around us. And whenever I got older, I was like, Mom, you're really good. You should like try to pursue this as a music career in whatever little kid language I had at the time. You should be a singer,
Right.
Mom. But she's like, baby, I was, but I stopped for you guys. And, to think about obviously what we talked about, right? Like the pros, the cons,
right.
to
Yeah.
choose the cons over the pros because what matters to you is over here,
Yeah.
and you have it tripled too because you got people that you have a huge support system now from what I can see, which is amazing.
Hell
Like
yeah.
you're talking about humbling, right? Whether the money's there or not, you're happy,
Yeah.
and you're also supporting a cause that you know is going to be detrimental to the environment and it matters to you and your family. So stuff like that is
Yeah.
like you said, you took the words, like it's worth so much more than money because money's gonna come and go. But like you said, what have you done? And look at what you've done
Yeah.
now because of it.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to say I wish I learned this lesson 10 years ago. But the truth of the matter is my kids were still little then. You know what I mean? Like our youngest is 21, going to be 22. So, 10 years ago, he was only 12. So it's like, hey, we still made a lot of those sacrifices. We stuck with that job that we worked 70, 80 hours a week at. We sacrificed family time to be able to afford them the things that they wanted and needed in a way that, like every parent does, we want to make a better life for our kids than we had ourselves. And by no means did we have bad lives growing up as kids, but we wanted to give our kids more. We wanted to make sure that college, if that was their desire, that was going to be there. I mean, that they could go, that finances weren't going to stop them. So I just think this all happened at the right time. It happened when it was supposed to happen. And it's been an amazing journey. I mean, it's been crazy. TikTok it's been incredible.
So
Incredible.
you're saying,
the friends that we have made, the contacts that we have made, the customers that I earn from it, it's incredible. So
you're saying that phrase, things happen for a reason, is real, right?
That's what
I just hope for all those years that I've tried to be a good person that karma remembers to come back every once in a while. Sprinkle a little kindness my way. I don't do much.
Hey,
just a little bit.
I think 60,000 followers says that she's at least come around to once or twice.
Yeah, it brought a tear to my eye today. It's been an emotional journey, and it's been a tough journey. It's been a long journey. I will tell you, there were a few times I was shadow banned that if I got 100 followers in a month, it was shocking. I mean, video after video with no views, and you're just like, what am I doing wrong? How do I make this work? And the moment that I said, you know what? You need to stop trying to make stuff for everybody else and make what makes you happy. And I stumbled across a video of some guy who had a lot of followers that was having a bad day. And I thought, I'm going to make him a tumbler. I'm going to try to make him something cool, and hopefully it'll just make him smile. And I sent it, and he got it, and he did a video, and I instantly had more viewers, more orders. And then from there, you get those spikes on TikTok, you get a viral video, you'll get some attention, but that goes away. That 15 minutes of fame goes away.
It's a rat race.
You have to work every day. And every day I remind myself, I've got a lot of, my customers are amazing. I have a lot of repeat customers. I have one of them that's at like 42 tumblers at this point.
Jeez.
We're not talking rehab, so shh. Okay. I still have like 12 more to make her. No, there's more than that. Probably 19 more to make her. So, but every day you have to earn their business. It's not guaranteed. So every day you have to put your foot out there and you have to post a video. They're either going to like
Dusty
it or they
said,
don't.
hey.
And we love you, Dusty. It's the best accessory you could have. We've talked about this. They do make great gifts, and she does buy a lot of them as gifts for people. So that's way cool. But it's, when you have that kind of, every time I get an order, I've earned that business. I try to remember that every day. Remember to earn their business. Give them a video that's fun to watch. It's educational, or it's interesting, or has fun music or something, but be different than everybody else, because I never fit into that box, that mold, and TikTok's given me the opportunity to just be me, and it's pretty cool.
You know what I think my favorite part about the whole conversation we've had so far has been? Is the fact that you've said, I know, at least 5 times that you're like, I'm just humble. And I think that in itself speaks volumes. Because of the fact that you see a lot, and it's funny because the majority of people that I've watched on YouTube, the majority of people I've watched on TikTok, the ones that really get big and really do great things are like you in the aspect of they do things for themselves because they know they need to focus on themselves, but they also don't forget where they came from and how hard it was to get where they are. And I think that is
and
so
hopefully
cool.
They take it a step further and help others that are trying to climb over that same hump
you hope
as you just busted your ass off getting over, because it's not easy.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you can try to grab legs of other people that are trying to climb over that wall with you, but sometimes they're kicking at you, and you're just like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to see somebody struggle when it's knowledge that I have that can make your life just a little bit better. It's insane to me to not help somebody else out. Why do I share other Tumblr makers and say, I encourage other people to go buy from them for stuff that I don't make? It's because without that community, like, you kind of got to take care of each other. You kind of got to be like, hey, like somebody sent me a picture and said, can you make this tumbler? Well, it was watermarked. And I said, you know what? She's an amazing Tumblr artist. I'll bet that she wouldn't mind making this for you. Have you contacted her? And she came back right away and said, yeah, she's not making them anymore. So I reached out to the Tumblr maker and said, hey, before I accept this order to make my version of it, it's beautiful, by the way, are you not accepting Tumblr orders? Because if you are, I'll say no. I don't have a problem with that. And she's like, no, I'm actually not. Go for it. And I'm like, way cool. And I made her something amazing, and it actually ended up being completely different than what she really wanted, which the original picture was. But to do something and then not tell somebody the details on how to do it, why? What I make, we could sit down and try to make the same tumbler, and it's going to be completely different. I can't even make the same tumbler twice. It's always going to be different.
If you and I made a tumbler, it's definitely going to look different, because I don't make tumblers.
You know what I mean, though? You know what I mean? Like, every tumbler maker there are some that are really good at one type of tumbler, and that's who I would recommend for that. I just don't think cutting other people down or putting other people down is the right way to do business for anybody. If you skyrocket to success because of some knowledge that I shared with you, that makes me happy. That doesn't make me upset. I hope at some point you say, hey, I remember you. Thank you for that conversation we had the one day. I'm not looking for credit out there, but just remember me if we cross paths, in the future. That would be kind of cool, or at least go, you look familiar, so I go, I know you,
Yeah.
I think just be a good person, be genuine, and help people, and share your knowledge. I mean, that's
how we all progress. That's how we get better.
Knowledge is free, and nobody should have to charge for that.
Well, and 90% of what we already know you can find anyway. So why
Right?
hoard it in the first place? Unless there's a way. My favorite thing is, I just got to say real quick, one of my favorite quotes, and it correlates with what you were talking about, which is the only place where success comes before work is in the dictionary.
Right.
So it holds true tenfold too, that working your butt off is where the success comes from. And you saying, and whoa, whoa. But I think that's really neat. I love where we've come from, and just the type of people that you guys are, and to get a chance to meet you, I think that's really cool, and to get a chance to really sit
we
down
tried
with
so hard to get down to Savannah, and just I don't even want to talk about it. I'm so upset because
you.
anytime I have an opportunity to get close to the ocean, I want it. I want to take it. But we're going to be moving towards the, like Mr. Troll had mentioned, we had always talked about downsizing when our kids were at this age. We have a ginormous house that's impossible to keep clean. I hate dusting, and it's too big. It's just too big. We also went from 4 dogs to 2 dogs recently. And so it just seems like too much space. And so we've talked about it for such a long time. And when, COVID and all that kind of happens and your income changes drastically, we looked at this opportunity and said, it's a buying market right now. We got a good offer on our house that will allow us to be able to downsize, pay back some of the responsibilities that we've made commitments to, and hopefully set up a pretty kick-ass workshop for me to keep doing this and grow this business with some amazing partners. And the only thing I could think of is if I'm going to move and leave this house that we worked so hard to get, my ass is going to be in the sand. I'm going to the beach.
Her ass looks pretty good in the sand, seeing that it's after 10 o'clock.
Saturday, Mr.
It's
Turtle.
after 10 o'clock.
I know.
Hey,
I forgot
who cares?
to remind him that I only had about an hour for tonight.
Who cares?
I know. I told him, I said, I've got an hour to do this tonight because I've got so much work to do. Oh.
Well, that's one of the things you got to realize about me is I could talk to a wall. So
can we.
This could continue to go on forever and ever and ever, but I don't mind drawing.
It's not Saturday, Mr. Turtle.
That's why I said it's after 10. So if you have a little one watching after 10, that's on you.
Night, guys.
If you're not 18 or older, now's the time to leave. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
But so next question. We'll move on. Fun question. What's your favorite color?
My favorite color?
Purple.
It's definitely purple. And I love black. And then my favorite colors together are purple, black, and teal. So.
Okay. That's fun.
Yeah.
Very cool.
But it's weird because it depends on what specifically it is. It changes.
What's your favorite color ice cream?
Usually, if you give me something purple, I'm like, I love it.
Yeah. What's your favorite color ice cream?
My favorite color or flavor of ice cream?
Either.
My favorite color of ice cream is mint chocolate chip, and it is my second favorite, probably, flavor.
I was just curious if your
favorite flavor of ice cream is Superman.
I was just curious if your favorite color was really close to your favorite flavor. That's why I was curious.
Yep. Nope. I like mint chocolate chip. It's one of my favorite ice creams. But Superman is my absolute favorite, and pretty much the only place you can get it is at the beach.
Got it. Makes sense.
Me. I need to pack my shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of generic.
Just gotta find a house.
There's a lot of generic Superman ice creams out there, but the problem is none of them have the bubble
gum in it. It needs the little bubble gum in it.
Got it. I know what you're talking about, though. 100%. It's like nostalgic to think about.
Yep.
Right? I know. I want that ice cream series. It hasn't arrived. I don't care if you have to charge my card. Just get in here already.
Right. So, I'll rattle off a couple other quick questions, and then we'll try to conclude it, so that way I'm not keeping you too long. What's your favorite kind of cup to make?
Anything I don't have to make 100 times.
But doesn't
Hence
that
why
end
we
up
do
happening?
99.9% custom work.
Right. I was about to say, doesn't that happen like every time anyway? You make one and then they're like, "Can you make it again?"
Yeah, yes. Every time I make a new style or a new design, we obviously will get some orders for those. I I wouldn't make them if I didn't enjoy making them. There are definitely styles that I dislike making. Um, I don't think I have a favorite though. I like having the change of pace. So like
Right.
I'm working on a zipper cup, and then I may not touch a zipper cup for 2 months, and then all of a sudden I'm doing a hell of a lot of full wrap, water slides, and then all of a sudden I'm doing hand painted leopard spots, and so I love having that variety.
Makes sense.
So yeah.
That makes sense. What cup have you done that best describes you? Or have you made a cup like that?
Wow. That's a deep question.
That's a really tough question, because I am one of those people that I feel like I have so many different likes. So a collage tumbler would have to incorporate everything. But I think my Wizard of Oz cup was probably my favorite. I don't know. I love my Be Happy cup that I made.
Yeah.
With the gnome bee. The Galaxy tumblers, I love those.
When it's got meaning for the customer, those are special.
So it all depends if you're speaking to the
business owner, or the
geeky
person.
side of me, and I love the D&D and Harry Potter cups, or the Lord of the Rings or Predators, or if you're speaking to the love rainbows and support of all people. I love my rainbow tumblers and my tie-dyes. I like my 420 friendlies. There's so many. I just don't. A kaleidoscope cup would probably be my best. Would be something that would describe me the best, because I'm a bunch of different pieces that make me me.
That's really cool, though. I can understand. Heather has some that she's like.
So whoever wants to make a kaleidoscope cup, let me know, because I'm not doing it.
Well, you answered my other questions, which was, do you still have your first tumbler, which was the Galaxy, when you answered that off the rip, and then how you got the name Thirsty Turtle, which I think was awesome, and then we kind of already touched on what you wanted to accomplish by making them, in a sense. So what do you want to accomplish by making tumblers? Like, unless you feel like you've already answered that.
I think the only different, other than being able to kind of be involved in communities and making a difference, I think the only other thing that I guess maybe I could say to that is, it's really important to love what you do. It doesn't have to be your full-time job, though. I know from a creative standpoint, the kind of person that I am, I was always at my best in all of the hats that I wear when I had a creative outlet, when I had that expression of creativity and freedom, and to do whatever, just to let whatever inspires me just come out. And when it works, when it comes out of your head and onto a canvas or onto a tumbler and it works, it's incredible. That feeling is beyond anything I can explain. But always do something you love doing, and in that, do it for yourself, not for what somebody else loves to do. Find something you love and have that part of you, and never set it aside. Never let it. It can always take us a back seat to priorities, but never let it go. Always have something that's important to you.
Very well said. Very well said. Well, I don't have any other questions. So
wait, I'm sweating my ass off sitting out here. It's hotter than hell in my garage.
But
we made a pretty cool start to this Jedi tumbler. I think it's gonna be to my lightsaber. We got some different levels there.
Yeah, it looks really
What I
cool.
like about using that foam is it keeps it light on the actual tumbler, so it doesn't feel heavy. And it's comfortable to hold. So unlike that's why I said I love those rhinestone tumblers. I probably would not buy one, only because I'm one of those people that how they feel matters. Like I can work around the zipper tumbler because I don't have to hold it at the zipper, but otherwise I like it to feel comfortable. And that's what I really like about using that foam is it makes it comfortable to hold. So we've got a pretty cool start to that lightsaber. I think it's going to be neat.
I know you didn't get much done because you were too busy talking.
You know what? That's okay. Each one of these is going to be very different, so it's going to be kind of cool. We'll move on to the next step probably tomorrow in my life.
Nice. Well, I just want to say thank you for doing it. Thank you for being part of it. I hope that your followers got to learn something a little bit about you. I hope that they had fun.
I hope so too. Did you guys have some fun? Did you learn something new? Give me some hearts and show me that you guys learned something new about me today that you didn't know about. We still have like 48 people in here, and that's pretty good for as late as it is.
Yeah. So this is around the time that people are used to us being on, so it's not that uncommon for us. But no, I want to say thanks again because you didn't have to do it, and I say the same thing to each of the crafters that I get on with is you didn't have to do it, so thank you for taking the time out and doing it. And they're
flooding the screen with hearts, so they loved it. So thank you very much for being such an awesome interviewer.
I try. I don't claim to be anything but human, and obviously a fiance to a glitter addict. So those two things, I guess, are about my only claims to fame at this point. So, but
it's always good to have a good partner.
Yeah, of course, and for anybody who goes to watch the stuff that goes on with us, as far as our group, if you would like to, if you don't mind me plugging myself for a second.
No, go for it.
Okay. So we, like I mentioned in the very beginning, we have our own group, which is all things custom creations, tumblers, and more 101. Miss Jennifer's part of it. So she helps contribute to.
Check it out on Facebook.
Yeah, check it out. It's on Facebook. So, and then this is obviously our TikTok too, the Custom Creations 101. You guys are more than welcome to follow us. We're happy to help.
Go hit their follow.
Any way we possibly can. We love you guys, even though some of you might not know who I am. Totally cool. But I'm always happy to help any way I can. I'm the guy usually behind the scenes, running the cameras and the angles and this and that. And whenever Miss Jennifer does get a chance to head down to Savannah, maybe we can get her over to our house and we can do cups together. Heather would probably lose her mind.
That would be way cool.
Yeah.
You know what? Before Cameron, I also want to mention that we've got Black Bear glitters in here too. So guys, we're trying to get them to 1,000 so we can do a dual live like this. And I'm going to try to talk Mama Berry into giving away some glitters. So, because we do a lot of giveaways. I do a lot of tumbler giveaways. That's pretty much, I put all of my marketing budget into giveaways for tumblers. We do them for charities, for auctions, for all sorts of stuff. But it's kind of what I choose to do to kind of spread awareness and share my business. So we need to get them to 1,000 followers. And so if you guys aren't already following Custom Creations 101, hit them a follow, but go follow Glitter Dealer BBG because we want to get them to 1,000 so we can do some fun dual lives.
And you guys have heard Papa Bear's laugh. We will make sure that he's on every live that we do with them, just so you can hear his belly laugh because it is the most contagious laugh in the world.
It is the best laugh I've ever heard. Matter of fact, when I first heard it, my uncle who passed away a couple of years ago had a laugh like that. He's the only person I ever knew in my whole life that just had that belly gut laugh and then a chuckle and then it just kind of it escalates an octave each time it gets harder. And he used to just, no matter how terrible of a day I could have, I hear that laugh and it just makes me smile. And Papa Bear did that laugh and I had tears in my eyes. I was laughing my butt off. It is the best laugh I've ever heard since my uncle.
And they're really good people. I have to just point that out too. They are really good people too. We had Christy over at the house. I don't know if you guys knew that. I'm sure you probably
we watched that.
Yeah, I was about to say I thought I remembered seeing your name, but yeah, they're just really good people. Christy, gave us the biggest hug whenever she got here, and I'm sure Herman's going to tower over us as far as giving hugs, but whenever we get to meet him, it'll be just like that.
Herman's going to tower over most of us.
People.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 6 foot if I round up. So I know he's going to tower over me.
He's only 5'8.5". Round up to 6 foot.
Hey, well, so am I. I'm 5'5". Does that count? No.
See?
But
awesome. Well, thank you so much, Cameron. I really do appreciate it. You guys were awesome.
No,
this was a lot of fun. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much for doing it. We appreciate you guys. If you guys want to go and watch this later, in case anybody is hopping on now, I don't know if it actually stays on, but I plan to post it all to YouTube. If you can send me the video afterwards, I'll put it up on our YouTube so that people can watch it too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. As soon as it takes a little bit, once the live ends, it's got to process.
Holy shit, Ryan! You're 6'5".
It will take.
Sorry.
Sorry. By tomorrow morning, I should be able to actually download it. So I will download it in the morning, and then I should be able to. I have to figure out how I send it to you. Because this is a long video, so it's going to be.
I would think Google Drive, if you have Google Drive.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Upload it to Google Drive and then share it with me, and then that way I can download it from there. That or Dropbox.
Awesome. We can do that for sure.
So.
Yep. Way cool. And I upload all of our TikTok replays on my YouTube. That's pretty much all that's on there, are just the replays from our lives, because we have a lot of fun. So if you're not checking us out on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 p.m. Eastern, Saturdays, 8:30, we make an adult beverage. It's pretty cool. Come hang out with us. We have a blast. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you, Cameron.
Love you guys.
Awesome.
Have a good night.
Tom, it was a pleasure to meet you.
You too, bud.